I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on transformation of functions. Here are 4 very important questions from my student. Question number 1. The point minus 2, 3 is on the graph of y equals to f of x. Find the corresponding coordinates of this point after the following transformations. A. 5 minus f of x. B. 2 f of x minus 1. Question number 2. The point minus 6, 2 is on the graph of y equals to f of x. Determine the coordinates of the image of this point on the graph of y equals to minus 3 f of minus 2x plus 4 plus 1. Question number 3. The point 3 minus 5 is on the graph of y equals to 5 minus 4 f of 2 over 3x plus 2. Determine the original coordinates of this point on the graph of y equals to f of x. Question number 4. The function y equals to f of x has the domain, the set of x such that x is greater than minus 6, where x belongs to real numbers. Determine the domain of the function y equals to 3 times f of minus 2x plus 8 plus 7. You can pause the video, answer these questions, and then look into my suggestions. So let's begin with the very first one, where we will understand how to get the image points after a transformation. The point minus 2, 3 is on the graph of f of x. Find the corresponding coordinates of this point after the following transformation. 5 minus f of x. So you could also write this as minus of f of x plus 5. So the transformation of the points here is what? If xy is the original point, it gets transformed and nothing happens to x value. It remains same. As far as the y value is concerned, it becomes negative and you have to add 5. Correct? So that is the transformation. Now, for the point which is minus 2, 3, what happens? So for the point which is minus 2, 3, the image will be x value will remain at minus 2. The y value will become negative and then add 5. So it will become negative 3 plus 5. So you could write this as negative 2 and 2. So that becomes the image coordinate point. Correct? Now let's take the second part, where we have 2 times f of x minus 1. Now in this case, the coordinate points x and y, the x value has to be added by 1. It is translated 1 unit right. So it will be x plus 1. The y value will be 2 times the original value. Since in this case, the original value is minus 2, 3, the transformed image point will be minus 2 plus 1, and we get 2 times 3. So the point is going to be minus 1, 6. So that becomes our solution, right? So that is how you do question number 1. So let's move on to question number 2. The point minus 6, 2 lies on the graph of y equals to f of x. Determine the coordinates of the image of this point on y equals to, so let's rewrite this function, y equals to minus 3 f of, let me use square brackets, minus 2x plus 4 plus 1. You need to factor minus 2. So if you don't do that, you will do a mistake, right? So factor minus 2, you get x plus 4 divided by minus 2 is minus 2 plus 1. And now we are in a position to write the transformation. So the x, y values will now get transformed. And what we get here is that the x value will be divided by 2. So we'll get half of the x value and then plus 2. As far as y is concerned, it gets multiplied by 3 plus 1. So we get 3y plus 1. So those becomes the new coordinate points. So starting with minus 6, 2, what do we get? We get half of minus 6 plus 2 as far as x value is concerned. For y value, 3 times 2 plus 1, right? So that gives you minus 3 plus 2 for x value, and for y value we get 6 plus 1. So what we get here is minus 1 and 7. So minus 1 and 7 is the image point on the given function. So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Now it's kind of very important to factor this, right? So it is important. Make a note of this. Now let's move on and take question number 3. The point 3 minus 5 is on the graph of y equals to 5 minus 4 f of 2 over 3x plus 2. Determine the original coordinates of this point on the graph of xy. So we are given the image this time, right? So we are doing reverse calculation, right? So we need to do reverse calculations. So what we are given here is that the original is xy and this is the transformed function. So in the transformed function, let me rewrite this as y equals to, let's write this as minus 4 f of, taking 2 over 3 common, right? So we have to take 2 over 3 common. So we get x plus 3 over 2 of 2, right? Plus 5. Do you see that? So that is the function for us. So let me rewrite this as y equals to minus 4 f of 2 over 3 x, and that cancels 2 and 2. So we get plus 3 here, plus 5. And now we can write down the transformed points, right? So let me just take a step back here. So the x values will get multiplied by 3 over 2, right? So we get 3 over 2 of original x value minus 3. As far as the y value is concerned, they'll get multiplied by 4 minus 4, and then you have to add 5. Do you get the idea? So in this particular case, what we are given really is that the point lies on the transformed function. So the point is 3 minus 5. So it is on this transformed function. Do you see that? It is on this transformed function. So we have to get the original x and y values, correct? So that is important to understand. So we need to solve backwards. So what we know here is that 3 over 2x minus 3 is equal to 3. We can do 3 over 2x is equal to 6, or x is equal to 6 times 2 over 3, which is 4. As far as the y value is concerned, minus 4y plus 5 is equal to minus 5. So minus 4y is equals to minus 5 minus 5, which is minus 10. So y is minus 10 divided by minus 4, which is dividing them by 2, we get 5 over 2. Correct? So the original point in our case is 4 and 5 over 2. So that is the answer. Correct? So our answer is the original point is 4, 5 over 2. Now let's take the last question, which is question number 4. Now here we'll find the domain. The function y equals to f of x has domain of x greater than minus 6, where x belongs to real numbers. Determine the domain of the function. The new function here is y equals to 3 times f of minus 2x plus 8 plus 7. So let us factor minus 2, right? So we get minus 2 factored, we get x minus 4 plus 7. Since we are interested in domain, let's check the x value, right? Now, as you can see, the transformation here is, what is this? Reflection on y-axis, correct? So it changes. Do you see that? So earlier, the domain is x, which is greater than minus 6. Now here, there's a reflection, right? Now if you see the transformations, then the x value will be minus half of x, and then you have to add 4, correct? As far as the y value is concerned, it will be 3y plus 7. For domain, we have to check the x value. So we have to get minus half of x plus 4. So let's do it in steps. So now we'll work for domain here. Now these are very important steps. Make a note of this. So we have to multiply by minus half. So we have to multiply by minus half. Whenever you do that, inequality sign changes. Do you see that? So 6 times minus half. That means minus half of x is less than. So this becomes plus 3, correct? Now we need to get plus 4. So I'll do minus half of x plus 4 is less than plus 3 plus 4. So what we get here is this particular transform function should be less than 7. So that becomes the new domain, correct? So our answer is that the domain is belongs to real numbers such that x is less than 7. So that is how we are going to solve it. So I hope you find these steps very interesting and useful. Feel free to write your comments and share your views, and that should give you a very good insight to transform functions and also understand how the image points change as we go through the transformations. I will appreciate if you could write your comments, share my videos with your friends, and if you could subscribe to my videos. Thanks for watching and all the best.